Watchtower Bible and Tract Society's pyramid. Okay, we're here at United Cemeteries. What day is this? It's March what?
11th.
We're March 11th, 2006. Leaning against the pyramid owned by Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. There's a pyramid where the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society had built on his death. You see Watchtower Bible and Tract Society here. Across the ground. This is located here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A lot of people have never seen this pyramid before. The founder of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is buried right over there. Pastor Russell, Charles Taze Russell, is buried there. He's known as the Laodicean messenger. I believe mentioned in the book of Revelation. See if you can zero in on this picture there. This pyramid some people may view this as a holy or sacred site, so we'll have a moment of silence. Before the NBC news program Dateline viewed a program on Jehovah Witness sex abuse, the governing body had this letter read in all congregations in May of 2002, and it says, "What if someone is a proven child molester?" It says, "Let us abhor." The article "Let us abhor what is wicked," published in January of 1997, issue of the Watchtower, had this to say on page 29: "For the protection of our children, a man known to have been a child molester does not qualify for a responsible position in the congregation. Moreover, he cannot be a pioneer or serve in any other special full-time service. We take such decisive action because we are concerned with maintaining Bible standards and protecting our children." My molester was still an elder 2.5 years after this letter was read to all congregations. November 26, 1965, I was sexually assaulted by a Jehovah Witness ordained minister. At that time, it was Friday, start of a circuit assembly. They had rented a gymnasium at Kutztown College, Pennsylvania, United States. That's where the circuit assembly was going to be. My mother was magazine servant. She was in the rear of the hall at her magazine counter, selling the Watchtower and Awake magazines. And the neighbor walks up to her. He had this ability to look at you and stare right to your body. And I was standing back there. And he says, "Catherine, can David go home with me?" He says, "I forgot my notes for the talk this evening." She was wearing a hat because she had a submissive role. Because as a woman, that's what you got to do. So she orders me to go home with him. I didn't want to. I knew he was a creep, but I had no choice.
As a young child, I was taught to obey those taking the lead among you and be submissive, for they are keeping watch over your souls. Hebrews 13:17, New World Translation.
So, get in this car and go back home. He lived right next door to me. And as soon as we get out of Kutztown, city limits, he strokes my left leg in his hand while he's driving. Push him off. He does it again. I push him off. And he looks over at me as he's driving like, yuck. Well, I was in shock from that. So we get home. He says he's going to get us notes. I get out of the car. I don't want to be anywhere near him. So I go to my home. Didn't have the brains to lock the door. I was on my own. So I go back to the bathroom and start combing my hair. I didn't know what to do. Next thing I hear his voice. He's entered my home. He declares that he found his notes. He enters the bathroom.
He sexually assaulted me.
And I get the heck out of there then and go to my parents' bedroom. And he finally says, we got to go back to the assembly. Well, I didn't want to go with him. I had this internal thing to call some of my relatives, but I couldn't. See, I've been trained on this book, Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained. In this book, as a child, I had learned very important things. And all my relatives had 3 grandparents alive at that time, that they were doomed for annihilation. This is what I've been taught in the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. That they were doomed for destruction. The only people who are going to survive are followers of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. And as it says on page 207, with shocking surprise, Armageddon will catch all those persons outside the New World Society. I could not call my grandparents or my other relatives. I was forced to be abused by going back in my child molester's car back to the assembly to hear him preach. We got back there late. We get up to the parking lot. I was so glad. I never wanted to get inside a circuit assembly as I did that day. They were singing a song when I entered the gymnasium. I didn't know where my family was sitting, so I just stayed in the back. And the guy gave a talk, probably about 15 minutes long. And then my abuser gave his talk. I can't remember if he gave number 2 or number 5. I think it was number 5 talk. And he gets up there and he says, look who's standing in the rear. Why, it's the prophet Jeremiah. Well, I was standing in the rear. I don't know, was he talking about me? And he goes right on his talk, never flinching a bit. And I finally kept standing back there for